Man, I came from. Talking about the streets, I got the game from. Talking about the trench, I got my name from. Hey, talking about the trenches, man, I came from. Talking about the streets, I got the game from. Talking about the trenches, everything came from me. Talking about the streets, I got my name from. Got my name from me. Talking about the hood, man, I came from. Talking about the streets, I got the game from me. You talking about the streets, I got my name from me. Yeah, got my name from me. If you talking about the streets, man, I came from it. I was hanging around the thug, hanging with the junkies. I was out there on the block, my clip, hold on, honey. Yeah, robbers, scammers, shooters, plotters. Hang around the rosters, hang around them shutters. FNs, Simmons, Glocks, and choppers. No, we know who got them. No, we know who shot them. Hey, had to turn from the evil. Hey, I will hurt my people. Man, that's all I see. A brother in jail or a RIP. Hey, gotta turn from evil. Hey, stop hurting your people. Man, that's all I see. A brother in jail or a RIP. Talking about the street, man, I came from it. Talking about the trenches, man, I came from it. Talking about the streets, I got the game from it. Talking about the trench, I got my name from it. Hey, talking about the trenches, man, I came from it. Talking about the streets, I got the game from it. Talking about the trenches, everything came from it. Talking about the streets, I got my name from it. Got my name from it. Talking about the hood, man, I came from it. Talking about the streets, I got the game from it. You talking about the streets, I got my name from it. Gotta turn from evil. Stop hurting your people. Young man, all I see, brother in jail, all I be, gotta turn from evil.
Hey, shalom, shalom. Shalom, man. Welcome to the Weigh House, man. I know it's been a little minute, but we back, man. We back, and Lord willing, it stay like that. You know what I'm saying? I hope it remains like that. But our praise to the Most High. Back for another episode of the Weigh House, where we weigh everything in the balance, right? And this is brought to you by Saints Advocating Law and Truth, right? You are the salt of the earth. I am the salt of the earth. We are the salt of the earth. Every sacrifice being seasoned with salt is a sweet savor to the Most High God. Let me make sure everything is copacetic. All right. In a different little setup, but all right. So, yeah, man, like I was saying, man, our praise to the Most High. I want to give our praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua for making this space, allowing us to do this show, allowing us to edify the people, allowing us to answer questions, putting the spirit on us to understand, giving us comfort and everything that we do. So with all that, man, got to make sure that we're honoring him in all that we do, loving him with all our mind, our soul, all our heart, all our strength, man, and that is keeping the commandments and the faith in Christ to the best of our abilities, to the absolute best. So shout out to the men and the women of the Lord that's out there doing their work, putting their brick, being a living example and a living sacrifice, and letting their light shine, man. So here on the Weigh House, man, we talk about real shit with the Bible open, man. You know, that's what we do. We weigh everything in the balance, but we talking about real stuff with the Bible open. It's a lot of stuff on the plate today, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the world today. But first, I just want to kick it off by saying, I heard a brother say this, man, and it really had me thinking. What in Paul's writings, if you don't understand, you can be destroyed. Right? And I'm gonna get it out of the scriptures with the Bible open, right? So we can have a talk about it. We gotta talk about it. This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 16. It says, also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest, as they do also the other scriptures unto their own destructions. So this is Peter, the rock of the church, right? He's saying that in Paul's writings, in his letters to the churches, there are some things in these letters that's hard to understand. It's confusing that the people that don't know the scriptures, you don't understand the Bible, you wrestle with Paul's letters. And he said it's to your own destruction. So what in Paul's letters that if you confuse it, if you misunderstand it and get it wrong, it's going to be to your own destruction? It's the law. You think that Paul is saying that the law of Moses is to not be kept? That's what it is. What's the only thing that can destroy you, that can get you destroyed? Sin. Sin is the only thing that can get you destroyed. So if he's saying, you think Paul is saying, oh, by the works of the law, no man can be justified, and you equate that with saying, oh, keeping the law of Moses, that can't justify me. Oh, not eating pork. Why should I do that? That's not going to justify me, because Paul said the works of the law can no man be justified. By the deeds of the law can no man be justified. But then Paul goes right back and he says, the doers of the law shall be justified. Romans 2:13. The doers of the law shall. Hold on, Paul. First, hold on. The doers of the law are justified, but the works of the law shall no man be justified. What are you talking about? But see, Christians have a bias, right? They don't want to keep the law. They don't want to keep the laws of Moses for what? The laws of Moses is contrary, or the laws of God, which is called the law of Moses because it was given to Moses, it's contrary to their lifestyle. And people don't like doing things that they're uncomfortable doing or that's contrary to their lifestyle. So when it says, when God told Moses to the Israelites, don't eat pork, don't eat swine, it's unclean, a lot of people like eating pork, and they grew up thinking that there's nothing wrong with it. But even God himself can't tell you that there's something wrong with it. And you read something and you misunderstand it in Paul's writings, and you give that, and you think that's a loophole to be able to justify your lust or your craving to eat things or to do things that God said don't do. And you use Paul. You can't even use Christ. You try to use Christ. Well, it's not what goes in the mouth that defiles what comes out. Well, that whole conversation wasn't even about food. You try to use Peter and his no. Now you go to Paul. After all that stuff get cut, you go to Paul. But these are the things that, if you misunderstand it, it's going to be to your own destruction. Because now you're going to live a simple lifestyle. Oh, Paul said, all have sinned and fallen short. Well, it's a handful of people named in the Bible that didn't sin or fall short. And then you misunderstand Christ. And I definitely got to drop a lesson on that. Man. It's coming up though. But you know, that's what it is, man. If sin is breaking the law, and Paul said in Romans 6:1 that even though you have grace, you cannot sin, meaning you cannot break God's laws, then Why do you think that he's teaching? Well, I understand why you think that. I understand why you think that Paul is teaching that you don't have to keep the law, because to the eye it seems that way. But Paul says in Romans 7:1, I speak to those that know the law. So you know that if the works of the law does not justify you, justify means to be made right again, to be brought back in good standings after it's the aftermath. Justify is the aftermath of you doing something. I asked a Christian, hey, I think he's a pastor in Nigeria. What things before Christ justified the Israelites? Nothing justified them. Nothing. Faith justified them. Have no knowledge of the law. They don't understand the law. Paul is a doctor of the law, educated in the law and the things in the law of Moses. He's above you. It's to your own destruction. Yeah, but let's move on, man. I just want to come out with that, edify a little bit. Tell the people to give grace and mercy to those that don't understand until they get right, and you start cutting their ass up. Well, just start cutting them up. But yeah, give a little mercy, and when you're dealing with Paul's writings, make sure you explain these things thoroughly, right? But now we're gonna get into these videos, man. There's a lot of stuff going on around the world, a lot of stuff going on in this country. Salakia. Salakia. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. Hey, you know, you've been paying attention, but AI is on the rise. It's everywhere. And it's just the beginning, right? Let's just check it out. Let's check it out and see.
Automating jobs. AI could replace humans in many jobs, leading to widespread unemployment and social unrest. But could this also free us to pursue more fulfilling endeavors? It's like having a robot that can do your job, freeing you to pursue your passions. 2. Controlling infrastructure. AI could gain control over critical infrastructure like power grids, transportation systems, and communication networks. But could this also lead to more efficient and reliable services? It's like having a smart city where everything is interconnected and optimized for efficiency. 3. Influencing opinions. AI could manipulate public opinion through social media and other platforms.
All right, let's slow it down, man. So 1, AI can replace jobs. Replace people's jobs, potentially causing civil unrest. People gonna have too much time on their hand, and when people have too much time on their hand in this kind of society, it's not good. It's a lot of scheming, a lot of plotting going on. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. What's the answer gonna be for the people? How are the people? How is society gonna be constructed with that type of method that AI has replaced the workforce? And I got a video next of that prime example, right? AI influencing things in the media, right? You know, we all know about Chat GPT, the fact checks. AI is going to be your response. AI is going to be combating a lot of the things, a lot of these conspiracy theories. It's AI bots on social media right now that are combating certain things. And you got to think, somebody is programming the artificial intelligence. It's not just doing it on its own. So somebody is programming AI to have this type of logic or to think like this, right? And then you have, as the video is talking about, a city that's interconnected with artificial intelligence. Somebody's going to be programming him to look for this person and to spot this person and to target these people and to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be a good time. AI controlling things is not going to be a good time, right?
Influencing elections and other important decisions. But could this also expose us to new ideas and perspectives? It's like having a personalized news feed, always showing you content that aligns with your interests.
It says AI is going to be influencing people's decision making. It's like when you go and you look, you type in on Google, and then you try to find an answer on Google, and then Google gives you the answer, and it's at the very top. Like for instance, like if you just go on Google and you type "Is King James a black man?" it's gonna pop up at the top. No, he's not. But if you just keep scrolling down 2 pages later, you start getting more information. It's just a filter. AI is going to be used for the elite to try to filter things through. It's going to do their bidding. It kind of makes me think of this though. This is what it makes me think of. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Remember, I was talking about these things being a city being connected through AI, being interwoven through AI, being able to see through people who is complying and who's not. That buying and that selling system, that bending the knee to the powers that be type of system. It's not. It's like when people steal through the self-checkout at Walmart. You're not going to be able to do that because a human can have a blind side, but AI can't. AI is not going to have a blind side. He's going to see you. Like these mandates that's going to be put up by the people that's in power. You're not going to be able to escape them. Like either you're going to have to get down or you're going to lay down type of ordeal with AI. Because like it doesn't sleep. It doesn't need to eat. It's programmed the way that exactly how they want it to. We know that the famine of the word, when they're not gonna keep letting the Israelites cut up everybody with these scriptures and start tearing down the infrastructure of these religions. That's where that persecution comes into place. Now AI is all on the internet and filtering through who's saying what. Like this is already happening as we speak right now. Who's saying what? Who's doing what type of content is going out? These are who you need to target. Stuff like that is already happening. I'm just showing you this so you can kind of get a glimpse of what's going on, right? But check this out.
Oh, okay. So I'm taking this Waymo to work.
Hold on, let me go back.
You guys, oh my God, watch this.
Oh my God. No, this is my ride right here.
You have arrived.
And nobody's in the car. Oh, okay. So I'm taking this Waymo to work. So it has my initials on the top.
So what is it? An anonymous car. Not anonymous, autonomous. The autonomous car is self-driving itself. This is no big deal, but this is replacing people that drive Uber. Your Postmates, your Uber Eats. So what are they gonna do now? What are they? Okay, now you're gonna start having people. You can already see it in Walmart now. The cashiers, they're obsolete now. You got like 6 cashiers out of 24 registers now. It's only 6 cashiers up there. Everything else is self-checkout. your tech jobs. AI is, I work in tech. AI is now starting to do my job for me. I just have to go in and clean it up. What the technology lacks, or what AI cannot respond to, and what they're not experienced in, I have to just go and clean it up with my expertise. But just think about it, like, what's going to be next? What are people going to do? Is this going to resort into people being subjugated, being pushed into an area where they have to live and they're fully dependent on the government and they're given rations and all of this stuff? Because now AI is taking over the job force, and you don't have a job and you're not able to work. So you're fully reliant on the government. You're fully dependent on them to provide for you. And all that is depending on whether you're compliant or not. No man can buy or sell unless he has that mark. And that mark is compliance.
You have arrived.
All right, hold on, y'all. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, wow, y'all, this is so weird. Oh, my God. Y'all, this is so funny that I'm in here with my people, though.
And look, it's just whipping like normal. And not only this, this is just the tip of the iceberg. You got to think about, you got to think about power grids. You got to think about utility line operations and what controls the city, your sewers, your sewer systems, your pipelines. All of these things are controlled by tech. All of these things are controlled by computer, and AI has been integrated in all of these things. Man is less and less having anything to do with these, except for the programming behind AI. It is very alarming. But now let's keep it moving. I'm just bringing this out just so people can have something to think on, because this stuff is change. It's gonna change a lot, and I'm not gonna say how we are in society right now. I'm not gonna say it's for the best, because things are spiraling down, and then they're coming out with this as if AI is gonna be a solution to help fix a lot of problems, but it's not. There's going to be a lot of civil unrest. There's going to be a lot of upset people, and there's going to be a lot of backlash and push. There's going to be a lot of conflict behind what AI is going to do in the future, right? All right, so just just to transition a little bit, man. We got wicked niggas and wicked niggas beefing on social media right now. Husband and wife are beefing today. A lot of adultery going on, a lot of evil going on, a lot of what's the word? A lot of trifling shit going on. You know what I'm saying? Let's play it.
That niggas think that they could fuck on anything, but when I start talking to niggas, you want to play those games with me? We're going to play them games too. Since you want to fucking threaten me, talking about you want to take my shit? You want to take my shit because I'm moving on? Move on.
This is crazy. So just backstory. I guess Offset got caught cheating again for the 8th time, and whatever, they started to beef or whatever, but it ain't no moving on. It ain't no moving on. Right, let's get that, man. It's the book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 1. Like, it's not, it ain't no moving on. This is when y'all consummated that marriage and made that vow, it was death do us. It was death until death do us apart, or however it goes. All right, this is Romans 7:1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law have dominion over a man as long as he liveth. For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband. So it ain't no moving on. That's evil and that's wicked. It ain't no divorce. It ain't no breaking up. That's why Christ said when he was talking to the Pharisees, he said, except for the matter of fornication, it's unlawful for a man to put away his wife. Why? Because when he put away his wife and she go be with another, that divorcement, and it, except it be for fornication, that divorcement was not recognized by God. You still bound to that man. So when people out here just running around getting divorced, because you're supposed to be more sturdy than that. Christ said from the beginning it was not so. He made them husband and wife, and those two joined together and became one flesh, meaning it was not supposed to be any hatred. You were not supposed to hate him. He was not supposed to hate you. You were not supposed to go off against him. Neither was he supposed to go off against you. You were supposed to submit to him, and he was supposed to love you, and that was the way they were supposed to go. Now you're supposed to be reconciled back to your spouse. If you have any difficulties or any you bump heads in any type of situation in marriage, it is no divorcement, just like how the Most High reconciled us back to him. But people are too soft. People don't have any there is no will or no energy to want to reconcile. It's after a certain point or some certain context. It can be for something petty. People have that option to leave, so they leave, but they don't know that you leave and you go be with somebody else, you're committing adultery. And in this situation, the adultery is on purpose. It's purposefully you still being with this man, just had a baby with this man, and I think you even smashed something while you was pregnant with this man child. Blatant adultery. We know that biblically adultery is when a woman who is married sleeps with another man, or a man sleeps with a woman who is married. So I don't know. I can't call it if Offset himself committed adultery, but maybe definitely broke the law by fornication, making women whores, being a whoremonger or a keeper of whores to himself. And I ain't even say it like that, like a keeper of whores, gathering whores to himself. That's what a whoremonger is.
Move on. Why can't you move on? Why can't you move on?
And that's why it's hard for people to move on in certain type of situations. Like you may call yourself being so upset that you say things and then y'all be separated. But then like after a while, it's like, you kind of be attached to that person, right? Because you're bound by this type of spiritual law, like this spiritual connection between husband and wife. That's why people like, you may even have like a situation where he whooping her ass, she keying his car, calling the police on him, you know what I'm saying? Clorox on the shoes type relationship, like burning up wigs type, and then like next year they having a baby together on that type of time.
It's no fun when mama got the gun, right? It's no fun when I'm slanging pussy, right?
Whoa.
Now it's
slanging kitty cat is crazy. Slanging kitty cat in a married woman with children. I don't know if they married or they divorced, but having a whole man, having this man child not too long ago, and being the mother of children and slanging kitty cat is crazy. Like these people are evil as hell, man.
now we're going to court court war, right? And I told you, get off my phone. I don't give a fuck. I'm tired.
Bro he said, you smashed with a baby inside, tell the truth. And I think she confirmed that she did do it, you know.
Funny. That
It's
nigga.
crazy, man. It's crazy activity, man. We're gonna let the scriptures come out because it's a reason for all of this, man. You know, one minute you choosing each other because of whatever circumstance you may think that person is attractive. You going off solely what your eyes can see. And at first everything is all cute and everything is all cute and good and you know it's puppy love and whatever, but then sooner or later you come to find out that both of y'all are demons. And the Bible says there's no wickedness to the wickedness of a woman. So she can definitely run a score up, and that's why a lot of niggas be miserable. But it's not because you being necessarily done wrong. She might be doing you worse than you doing her. But that's your portion, right? This is the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25 and verse 19. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. That's why when I see situations like this, and all over our community, the so-called black people, all over our community, you see the same thing going on. Like I grew up around the same thing. I got older brothers, but it's not because you were saints. It's not because you wasn't a sinner. No, that woman was given to you because you was a wicked nigga. That's why. That's your punishment. Here you go. I read that again. It says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. You know, she can do a lot of things to you. She keying your car. Y'all, you said it was over with, and now she riding by your house, calling your phone, who that is in there. She calling her brothers up. You finna get jumped. She stalking all your women, making fake Snapchats, fake Instagram pages, stalking. She done put you on child support. Now you can't, and not only that, you on child support and you can't see the baby. My baby ain't finna be around that other one. You're not getting invited to the birthday party, the cookouts, graduations. She done sent you back to court. She want more money. You done got another job. Oh, I want more money. Cause you a wicked nigga. And that's for life, nigga. You gotta deal with her for life. Right? Just one more I'm looking for. Oh yeah, go right here. This is Sirach 26 and 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man. That's your portion. That's what you get. Match made in hell, as they say. Right? And you got to move around with her just like that. She in your hip pocket for the rest of your life. It says, but a godly woman is given to him that fear of the Lord. And we know that the fear of the Lord is keeping the commandments, right? Let's get that real quick. A godly woman is given to him that fear the Lord. This is the book of Sirach, Sirach chapter 19, I'm sorry, verse 18. It says, the fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted of him, and wisdom obtaining his love. The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is a doctrine of life, and they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law, and the knowledge of his omnipotency. So the fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law. That's the doing, right? Just like Paul said, the doers of the law shall be justified. But yeah, man, that's crazy work right there, man. And guess what? This is the talk of the town. The so-called black community is eating this up. Like we don't have other things that we need to be focused on. That's what they filling their time with. Everybody throwing in they 2 cents. Everybody is giving their opinions. There's a lot of man versus woman going on right now, which we are an easily divided community. It don't take much of nothing to divide us. And the other nations just sit back and they watch stuff like this. A grown, damn near 40-year-old woman. How old is this woman? 38, 39, 40. Talking about you slaying kitty cat. Talking about when you slaying the kitty cat. Then you got this old ass nigga that's out here tricking off. That lifestyle got to get old, but the wicked, they can't go to sleep unless they perform wickedness. So, and they wake up ready to do it. So let's tone it down. Let's tone down the drama, but let's switch up the emotions, right? This next video I'm about to play, when the Bible says, be not ignorant in any matter, this is one of the reasons why you should not be ignorant, that you shouldn't be ignorant in any matter. I was able to watch the original version, the original clip of this. And, when these nations talk about us in this manner, you should be able to know and be educated, because this is dealing with your community.
About 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
about half of all prisoners are black.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders, they commit more arsons, they commit more kidnappings. For example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Okay, let's talk about it. These are obviously racist claims, but I will respond to them as if Charlie Kirk were a reasonable person.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
about half of all prisoners are black.
Wrong. Just 38% of America's prison population is black. That's according to the U.S. government. But it makes you wonder why Charlie feels the need to add an additional 12% to the black prison population. Could it be because his bigoted talking points only work if he exaggerates them? If Charlie...
To that point, man, and this guy is talking to a sister, and her responses, you can tell that she is not educated on these statistics. She's not aware of the facts, so her responses are she's deflecting, right? Because she's just not educated, and that's fine, right? But that's why you need people like us who are educated in these things. We need to be up, and we need to be advocating for whatever is going on. People that actually know, right? Not when you're talking to a political figure or whoever, and he has on a suit, and he's just not talking to somebody who's in street clothes that just came from wherever, right? But he, the exaggeration of these numbers, it's all playing a game, right? You're trying to portray black people in a certain light that we're what they have been calling us for all the time. An evil people, and a horrific group of people, thugs and criminals, outlaws, outcasts, the ill-advised, right? That's why when this compliance come about, black people are going to be heavily persecuted to will us into submission and to comply. I don't think it's going to take much, because a nigga will fold if he can't get a Newport short from the gas station. He'll fold quick. You can't get anything that you desire, black people fold quick. But this is the book of Psalms, chapter Psalms chapter 73. 73, and I started verse 6. Now this is talking about the wicked, right? I started at verse 1. It says, "Truly God is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone, my steps had well nigh slipped, for I was envious of the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." So he's talking about the wicked, right? I'm jumping to verse 6. "Therefore pride compasses them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment," right? He's talking about black people are the most violent. Talking about our communities, and we do get violent, but Caucasians make up the majority of the population, and they have the more violent crimes, right? When you think of a school shooter, you're not thinking about you're not thinking about anybody from the hood being a school. When they say school shooter, a mass shooter, I'm not thinking of anybody from the hood that did that. When you're thinking about what are those things that they write? When you think about a manifesto, niggas don't write manifestos. Niggas don't write letters about the crimes and that they about to go do, and niggas ain't doing that. Niggas don't go into the movie theater and just shoot up the movie theater. If niggas is killing, it's because somebody did something and they want retaliation, which is a curse in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28. Like we don't do that. I'm going to continue reading. It says, "Their eyes stand out with fatness, and they have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression." They speak lawfully. And that's what this man is doing now. He's speaking wickedly concerning oppression, because the black people are oppressed. We are in certain situations by the system that we do have to resort to violence, that we do have to resort to illegal activity. Shit, it's a lot of people doing. It's a lot of people getting it. The whole nation is doing that just based on the prices of a carton of eggs. But now he's speaking lawfully concerning the oppressed people. He's just lying right now.
Charlie were actually looking for the race that makes up half the prison population in the U.S., he'd look no further than white people at 57%.
Exactly. So blacks commit more crimes than whites do.
Wrong. The word "so" is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence.
Exactly. So blacks commit more crimes.
He's saying "so" as in therefore, as in one could conclude, but Charlie knows he's lying. Even if he hadn't just lied about the black prison population, Charlie is smart enough to know that correlation does not equal causation, but he's hoping that you don't know that. So he deploys the word "so" to make you think he's coming to an obvious conclusion.
Exactly. So blacks.
Instead, he's making an illogical, racist leap. Charlie knows that we don't have usable data about who commits crimes. It's impossible to have that data since so many crimes go both unreported and or unsolved. Charlie knows that we only have data about arrests and convictions. I'll come back to that data in a moment. What's painfully obvious is that Charlie Kirk isn't interested in understanding the statistics he so carelessly misquotes. He's interested in making bad faith arguments. Something that becomes even more obvious in his next point.
Blacks are 13% of the population and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Wrong again, and loud this time. If Charlie were interested in honesty, he would have mentioned the other 1350 statistic. Yes, black people are about 13% of the population, but make up 53% of all criminal exonerations. In fact, black people make up 55% of all murder exonerations specifically. Black people are more likely than any other group in this country to be convicted of crimes they did not commit. And then people like you have the nerve to parade these stats around as though they prove something. The reality is that you probably know these stats, but you leave them out on purpose, because to bring that stat into this conversation would make some people think. And that's the...
And that's what they're taught to do, right? Because I was taught the same thing in school. In my field of study, I was taught to gather data, compile data, organize data, and for whatever my goal is, to manipulate data. I was taught to manipulate data. If I want to, let's just say I'm looking at demographics and I want to showcase that in a certain area, the children between the ages of 5 and 8 are more likely to eat ice cream in this area. I'm proposing, I may be proposing this to a company. Children between the ages of 5 and 8 are more likely to eat ice cream in this area. But I can manipulate the data to show that the majority of the children in this area are 5 to 8. And I'm just speaking of kids that can actually old enough to maybe walk up to an ice cream truck and buy ice cream, right? I'm going to leave out specifically the 12 and the 12 to 16-year-olds, right? That at that age, the kids that's like, I don't even really care if the ice cream truck is over there. Like, I'm not even really that phased on it. Like, I'm leaving out that. It's like you're suppressing that, and that's what we're taught to do. Like, if it's 100 children from ages 5 to 8, and there may be 200 children ages 10 to 16 and 75. Like, I'll mainly focus on 5 to 8, but leave out other data, and that's called manipulating data to prove a point. I don't have to include the rest because it may be irrelevant to the point that I'm trying to prove. And this manipulation, nonetheless, like, that might have been a weak analogy. I probably could have came up with something a whole lot better, but just on the spot right there, you got what you got. But yeah, that's what we were taught to do. So I'm not surprised about him looking at those statistics and saying, no, I'm just only going to focus on that, and I'm not going to include that these were exonerated criminals or people that were arrested that were released or charged with a crime that they didn't do. That these statistics are actually these numbers are actually included. He's speaking wickedly concerning oppression. To be arrested or charged with a crime that you did not do because people look at you in a certain way, because you're a byword, because you're a proverb, because you're a cursed people, because you're an impoverished people, an oppressed people. That's a part of the oppression. They speak wickedly concerning oppression.
Last thing a person like you wants.
And that's just some of the many things that we have to face here at being a disadvantage of being a so-called black man, black woman, so-called Native American man and woman, Hispanic man and woman. That's what goes on here in this country, that these people are so-called. These people love and are flooding daily. The migrants coming from all types of places to come here and to add more fuel to the fire that's already present. I don't know if anybody has been seeing how they doing the Haitian immigrants that are coming over. It's starting to look like 1965 all over again. But we're gonna switch gears a little bit more, bring out some international things going on. Pay close attention, because this is connected to the other videos that I played.
How great the threats are.
The homeland, if there's a
The United States is nowhere near prepared for the dangerous multi-threat environment it's facing.
The public has no idea how great the threats are.
The homeland, if there's a conflict, is not going to be.
And guess what? With the integration of artificial intelligence, you ain't gonna, nigga, you might not never know. Because your Facebook feed is going to be happy, holly, jolly. Your Instagram feed is going to be all roses and kittens. And your TikTok, that's why they want to ban TikTok. Everything is going to be roses and bubbles when AI comes. You're not gonna know. You're not gonna know. You're gonna be fed with the things that you want to see.
Be a sanctuary anymore, and the first attacks will likely be in the cyber domain, and they will be incredibly disabling.
The public.
Could this possibly be AI being manipulated, AI being infiltrated? If things are run through AI and we're going to have cyber attacks, that's not good for us. Like we've gotten away from manually doing shit. Like we don't do that no more. Our infrastructures are solely dependent on technology and the grid. But if our grid is being attacked, then we in for it. And a lot of people are not prepared because people don't see things like this. This is not in the news. This is not on your feed. Your feed is full of drama. You don't see this. You're not prepared. And that's how there's going to be thousands of people that's going to die.
Is essentially clueless about the massive cyber attacks that could be launched any day by our adversaries, not just nation states, but rogue actors as
any day.
Well,
the report.
Let me say, like a thief in the night. That's how you're going to return, right? Any day.
Warns a cyber war with China or Russia would be devastating. America's critical infrastructure would come under attack, possibly cutting off power, water, transportation, and finance.
You niggas ain't gonna last a week without power and water. And just like how Second Ezra, I believe 14th chapter, it talks about invading one another for the lack of bread. You don't have a stockpile of food and supplies in your basement or in your garage, in your closet, or in your pantry to deal with something like this. I advise you to start doing something about it now. But think about the people that's not prepared. The people that, and I was telling my wife this earlier, people are not aware that this nation is on the verge. You know what I'm saying? Like we literally a minute away from World War III, nuclear destruction, these cyber attacks. But people's hope, see, our hope is in the kingdom of heaven. We know what's going to happen to this place. So we look past this. We looking for the next thing. What Christ says, if I tell you all, watch. Pay attention to the signs and the times. So we looking at the signs and the times on when the Most High is visiting the earth again, and he's visiting the earth with these plagues. So we watching the news. We watching this type of news while most of our people are watching Cardi B and Offset. Most of our people are watching Diddy and 1,000 bottles of baby oil. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Most of our people are watching memes. They don't care about this because they're comfortable in this place with this life. They don't hope for anything more, so they're cool with what's in front of them. But our hope is more, so we prepare, right?
Financial systems and shutting down the supply chain. The report states major war would affect the life of every American in ways we can only begin to imagine. The United States' infrastructure would come under attack. It would be devastating. America's critical infrastructure would come under attack, possibly cutting off power, water.
Cutting off power. No refrigerator, no freezer, no heat, no electricity. Think about that. Cutting off water, no clean water. Sewer systems are now backed up. The drinking waters are now contaminated and polluted. What you doing about that?
Transportation and financial systems.
No transportation. Those 18-wheelers bringing in them groceries, it's over with for that. That shit is over. The grocery stores, they're being looted. It's where your food coming from?
and shutting down the supply chain. The report states major war would affect the life of every American in
but hey, it said they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, just like the days of the flood. And the flood came and swept them away. Crazy.
Wants that war so much. Are we going to have a war with Iran? Israel just wants that war so much. And the Israel lobby is very powerful. So we could. But I've never seen such recklessness as this Israeli government. Reckless, extremist, provocative, assassinating, just wants that.
Yeah, my bad.
Counterparts left and right, extremist, provocative.
And I've been following, and I'm still trying to conclude on why they want this war so bad. It's kind of equivalent to what they say, go dig your partner up. Go dig your op. When old dude from Philly went and dug his op up, like that's the type of stuff they doing right now. They very provoking, very in your face, like come fight, like pull up to your house and stand outside and wait for you to come outside to come fight. And I'm thinking, is it, it's always money. It's always money. I know that for a fact. It's money. But now I'm like, okay, is it control of land, resources? It gotta be something else to it. I'm gonna put these pieces together.
Assassinating counterparts left and right, and of course, in the most provocative ways, assassinating the Hamas political negotiator in Tehran on the occasion of the inauguration of the new Iranian president. This is aiming for pulling the U.S. into a broader war.
Wait, can I just ask you to stop there? So I said, are we going to have a war with Iran? And you immediately said we're being pushed by another country to have a war with Iran. Is there any reason for the United States acting solely in its own interest to have a war with Iran?
Of course not. And
And the thing about it is, all this is planned by the Most High. The Most High said, I'm going to gather all these nations into the valley of Jehoshaphat. I'm going to bring them down, and they're going to fight against each other. And then I'm going to swoop in and I'm going to destroy them. That's what's going on. That's why it's like a domino effect. Israel is fighting. They want to fight. It's going to pull in the United States. It's going to pull in Canada. It's going to pull in the United Nations. It's going to pull in Russia, China, North Korea, Iraq, Afghanistan. It's going to pull in all these nations, and they're going to be fighting against each other. Like it's inevitable. It's going to happen.
Would be devastating because Iran has allies, including Russia. So a war with Iran could easily become World War III. World War III, for everyone to understand, could easily become a nuclear war. A nuclear war, whatever you're going to say or do with your children or your grandchildren, say it now because the world will do with your children or your grandchildren. A nuclear war, whatever you're going to say or do with your children or your grandchildren, say it now because the world will end.
Whatever you're going to say, do with your grandchildren, do it now, because the world will end. The world will end. Oh, man, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. I'm off the bat. I'm thinking of two places. Right. Two places. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, and verse 6. 15, right? He said, I'm just going to play this one more time because this shit hit heavy.
Say or do with your children, for everyone to understand, could easily become a nuclear war. A nuclear war, whatever you're going to say or do with your children or your grandchildren, say it now because the world will end.
Isaiah 66 and verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire. The Lord is coming with fire. And with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. The Lord is coming with fire. He was rebuking with fire, right? This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, and verse 8. And it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid. And yet durst fight, and lo, he saw the violence of the multitude that came against him. The him is just talking about Christ. He neither lifted up his hand, nor had he a shield of any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. Now this is Ezra having a vision about what is to come. The Lord is bringing all these nations down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, to his judgment. They're coming and they're going to fight against Christ. It says out of his mouth came fire. Now, this is not Christ in the air blowing dragon breath. No, this is by his commandment, that's them buttons going to get pushed. By his commandment, these people are going to be destroyed with fire. Right, it says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Let me get one more. Now I got two more. Let's see if I can find this one. I ain't brought this one out in a minute. One second. All right, this is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. And we just read in 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, that these people are going to be consumed and they're going to be burned. How your flesh going to consume away while you stand on your feet, unless it's that supersonic wave of massive heat from those nuclear bombs. And their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Now I got one more, man. It's the book of Psalms. And I gotta find this one. I gotta find this one. Hold on, I gotta find this one, man. And I'm probably right there. That's how it always ends. I'm always right there. No, nope. I want to know what close. But it be like that sometimes. All right, this is what I'm looking for. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 91 and verse 4. And I brought this out. I brought this out of Tabernacles, actually. He said, he shall cover thee with his feathers, under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by the day. The arrow that fly by day is missiles. He said, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy right side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. The reward of the wicked is destruction, is to be destroyed. Right? This is the reward of the wicked.
Nuclear war, a nuclear war. You know, whatever you're going to say or do with your children or your grandchildren, say it now, because the world will end in a very quick moment if we fall into that abyss.
I should just pause and say you wrecked my morning over breakfast today by describing at length the new. Are we going to have a?
This is what's going to happen. Right? But you put your trust and faith in the Lord. The terror and their destruction shall not come nigh thee. Putting your faith in the Lord is keeping the commandments, keeping the faith in Christ, right? Being obedient unto the end, right? Christ was obedient to the end. He died and was resurrected with an eternal body, being an example of what is to come for those that love the Lord and keep his commandments. All right, but that's the show. I hope you were edified. You know, I do this solely for the people, for edification, to bring out things that we can dwell into. So if you got any ideas, leave a comment. Anything you want me to look into, leave a comment. You know, subscribe to the channel, like the page, you know, follow us, follow all our videos for edification. You know, if you in the South, hit us up, leave us an email. I'm on leave us an email. Come gather with us. Man. Hey, the times are short. Keep the Most High first. Keep fasting, keep praying, keep enduring to the end. Amen. Shalom.